Your warm-up today starts with a standing pancake stretch. We're gonna hit that for 45 seconds and then 2 to 3 times through a circuit. We're gonna get 10 single leg RDLs, 10 Cossack squats, 5 inchworms, and 10 toy soldiers 2 to 3 times through. Let's take a look. Starting with that standing pancake stretch. For pancake, we're gonna get legs pretty wide, ideally sort of approaching 90 degrees, maybe a little bit wider. If you're super stretchy, if you have a middle split, don't go all the way. Think 90 degrees or a little bit better. Legs locked out, reach for the ground, and start walking your hands backwards. And we're just looking for a big stretch. Keep breathing. Every time you exhale, sink a little bit lower and a little bit lower. Come right back out of it. We're gonna hang out there for 45 seconds in your standing pancake. Single leg RDLs are next. For a single leg RDL, you're gonna balance on one foot. Think hinging at the hips. So we're gonna drive your hips backward, let that other leg trail, and then pull yourself back up with your hamstring and glute. You can do whatever you want with your hands to keep your balance. Some people like straight for the ground, some people like airplane, whatever floats your boat. Slow and controlled down and up, 5 on each side for 10 total. Our Cossack squat stance is similar to that pancake stretch. Nice and wide. We're gonna sit back and down, keep that heel on the ground, knee tracking over your toe, back up to neutral. If it's hard to get down, put your hands on the ground. Better to get a little more depth than not put your hands on the ground. So if you're someone who Cossack squats here, really go for the ground. We wanna open those hips up as much as you can. Ideally, all the way down, all the way up, 5 to each side for 10 total Cossack squats. We're gonna keep hitting those hamstrings with an inchworm. We're gonna get 5, legs nice and long, reach for the ground. Walk out as far as you can, and then only with your toes, trying to keep those legs as straight as you can. Get your toes as close to your hands as you can. Stand up, take a breath, and do it again. We're gonna get 5, slow and long, really feel that stretch. Toy soldiers is a dynamic straight leg high kick. So you're gonna hold your hands out in front of you. This is a height check. This is what you're aiming for. One long straight leg up, trying to get your toe higher than your fingers. So long and straight, kick, kick, kick. If you have the room to do these walking, it's a little more fun. You get a little more backswing, up, up. But if you don't, no worries. 5 on each side also, 10 toy soldiers. Your Metcon today is an 18-minute AMRAP. It starts with 20 bag deadlifts, then 15 ground to overhead, 10 overhead lunges with that bag, finishing with 20 sit-ups. Round and round for 18 minutes. Let's take a look. For this workout, you need a bag loaded with some stuff. Think a single odd object is really what we're going for here. Today I'm using the trusty orange backpack. I just have a gallon of bleach in here, unopened, cap is on really, really tight. That's probably, what's a gallon? 7.5 pounds, something like that. Relatively light. The challenge of the odd object means it doesn't have to be super heavy. The hardest part of this whole workout is going to be that overhead lunge. So if you want to go a little bit heavier, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, especially for their shoulders, build it up. But make sure you test out that overhead lunge. That's really going to be the limiting factor here. Get your weight, set it up. Let's look at these movements. The workout starts with 20 bag deadlifts. With a single object, I usually recommend doing more of a sumo deadlift. So you can see me. We're gonna straddle that object, feet a little wider than you would normally deadlift in, maybe squat stance or a little bit wider. As you go down, just like any deadlift, we're gonna hinge at the hips, back is strong, try not to let your knees come forward. So knees out, hips down, grab that object, stand all the way up. We're gonna tap the ground every time. Make sure you lock it out. You may be able to rip through these fairly quickly, depending on what weight you're using. That's totally fine, but it still has to look good. Don't let yourself let these turn into flexy bendy deadlifts. You will feel it tomorrow, and that's no good. 20 deadlifts. After the deadlifts, we have 15 ground to overhead. Now this is ground to overhead anyhow, so the object touches the ground and finishes arms locked out, hips locked out, knees locked out, that weight right over the middle of your body. How you get it there is up to you. Really two different ways. You can do it in one motion, essentially a bag muscle snatch. So come on down, think a little bit of a kettlebell swing. Make sure we get your hips involved. All the way overhead, lock it out, bring it down the same way. Other option is basically a clean and press or a clean and jerk. So object touches the ground. We're gonna stop at your shoulders. So up, compose yourself, and then probably using some leg hip drive here, all the way overhead. So tap, clean, press, and down. Touches the ground, all the way overhead. We're getting 15 ground to overhead. Third movement, last one with the bag, is 10 overhead lunges. This is 5 on each side. We want that object locked out overhead. So however you get it here, this could be after your last ground to overhead. So maybe you clean, press it up, keep those arms locked out really tight, knee kisses the ground, ideally step right through. If you don't have the room to walk, no worries. They do not have to be walking. Lock it out, and you can either go forward or reverse lunges. Either way, object locked out, 5 on each side for 10 overhead lunges. Last part of the AMRAP is 20 sit-ups. This is kind of the rest, certainly for your shoulders and arms. Butterfly sit-ups, soles of your feet touching each other. You're gonna come on down, shoulders touch the ground, hands touch the ground, sit all the way up, shoulders over your hips. You can absolutely use your arms to speed this up a little bit. Up and down 20 times, round and round for 18 minutes. Enjoy your Metcon. Your finisher is all about abs today. We're gonna get 3 sets, 15 on each side mountain climbers, 15 on each side bicycle crunches, and 15 tuck-ups. Here's what it looks like. 3 parts in this ab finisher. Starts with mountain climbers. Mountain climbers, top of a push-up, but we're gonna start with the knee touching your elbow. This is where we wanna end up every time. Fast as you can, every tap is 1. We're gonna get 30, 15 on each side. After mountain climbers, lie down on your back for bicycle crunches. Now we're doing knee to elbow again, just like mountain climbers. But here, so tap, tap. Ideally fairly quickly, each one is 1, we're getting 30. Staying on the ground for your last movement, 15 tuck-ups. Hit that long hollow position, pull up to the balance. Try and keep your knees together if you can. So reach and balance and reach and balance. 15 times. We're doing this core circuit 3 times through. Enjoy your finisher.